the Gaga ball structure and behind the gazebo.
So the picture you put in your package is not accurate for what you're building?
Oh no,
That,
it is. It is accurate.
it is accurate. Okay, so it goes
Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
around.
But the it does not go around. What you're looking at, I think what you're looking at is the Gaga ball pit. I don't think
Right.
you're looking. I don't think you're looking at the. I don't
It-
think
No,
you.
Jake,
okay,
Jake,
just a second. On
a que-
page 20 of the application. Everybody go to that, please.
Yes.
Yep.
Page 20 of the application. That's what the Gaga pit's going to look like? Is that correct?
I don't have that in front of me, unfortunately. I can pull it
Okay.
quick. I can pull it quickly. The Gaga ball pit is the thing that looks like a hexagon.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
the hexagon structure, that's the Gaga ball pit.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and
JP,
And
what is last
who's
last
well, let's just a second. Let's let JP finish his presentation and then we'll go to questions.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Sorry.
So pretty much that's all I have for presentation on Columbus Park. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions of the committee members?
I have a question.
Yes.
This is Tucker. JP, what is the maintenance of this Gaga pit once it has been installed? And this is an $88,000 expenditure. That's how I see it. And I thought it was for railing.
Oh, Tucker, the railing will take most of the money. The Gaga pit ball is only, what is it? $12,000?
Okay.
Yeah, the railing, that's the project, really.
Okay. Okay.
JP, so this is Chama. I have a couple quick questions for you. So you mentioned that you were doing the sidewalks
Yes.
already with previous funding. My question is, can you do the sidewalks and the railing at the same time? Can you combine the two projects? Because I would imagine that if you did them at the same time, it probably would be beneficial to you to be able to do both projects at the same time if you did receive this funding. Not sure how the timing works, but if that's a possibility, just like to know.
Oh, Gemma, we have already received funding for the sidewalk, and we have hired a contractor is on contract with the city, and the contractor will start the project soon. And
Completely understand. Sorry, yes, completely understand. I was just wondering if Kathy, I don't know, is this something
Yep.
that, let's say we approve funding for this, is this something that
Mhm.
they would then have notice of approval of funding so that if necessary, JP could alert the contractor and they could, just kind of wrap that up in their plans, even if they can't do it at the same time because
No,
it's ready to go?
unfortunately, we have to do a separate environmental review for this and a separate request for release of funds, so we can't commit to anything until that's done. And those other sidewalks will be completed by then.
Yeah. Let me jump in there too. The sidewalks that we've approved already on Boswell Avenue are across the street. They are not on this side of the street.
no, the sidewalk is on the other side of Columbus Park.
That's right.
Yes.
On Boswell Avenue going up the hill.
Right.
It's on the sidewalks on the right-hand side of the street.
Exactly.
Right. So that's not the sidewalks associated with Columbus.
No.
I see. So
Right.
abutting that is abutting the rail.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct, Gemma.
Yep. You guys have any other questions for me?
Well, yeah.
Yes, I do have.
Okay. Okay, Jim. Just a second, Gemma. Are you done with your questions?
So I did have actually one further question, but this is about Gaga.
Yeah.
I was reading this, and so of course I had to quickly go ahead and look up what a Gaga ball court was in the play and all of that. I wanted to find out because I had never heard of it, and it sounds really exciting. I guess my question though is, how do you get people? I also called my son, who's a big sports fanatic, and I said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this?" Because I just wanted to know, like, word on the street. Do you guys play it? And who's out there that plays it? Because I know that there's certain, depending on where you go, obviously, you can look at a game and you can say, hey, this is awesome. And then you can go back home and nobody's heard of it and plays it. And you yourself, JP, could probably get in there and teach the kids how to play it and the existence of it. But I was wondering, how are they going to know what this is? And I know that they're balls that are they going to be provided? Do you expect the kids to bring their own? And just how many kind of kids in the neighborhood? I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just kind of curious how you actually let kids know sort of what this game is all about and kind of get them into it if it hasn't already started as a movement in Norwich, for example.
Yes, very good question, Gemma. I think Gaga Ball is one of these games. If you build it, they will play. It Kids are very intuitive, and they will go if they don't know what it is. They will find out in a minute on their phone how to play Gaga Ball. And I think it would also be a good idea to after the Gaga Ball pit is installed, to have a session and you show a couple of kids in the neighborhood how to play it, and that's it. It spreads like fire. It's one of these things.
Sure, maybe have a sign up or something like that as well too. Initially, just some sort of fun sign, or have a little sort of park day introduction to Chicago.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions?
I have a question, Cdac.
Okay.
JP, going forward, what is the maintenance of this per annum?
Okay. I'm sorry, Tucker. Are you talking about the maintenance on the Gaga Ball structure?
Yeah, the whole. I mean, you're going to dig into the side of the hill,
Yes.
and what would be the maintenance of this going forward
Well,
in the
I
future?
think, yes, the city of Norwich is already taking care of mowing this park. So with the Gaga Ball pit, there is nothing else added as far as maintenance. So pretty much it's mowing around it. And even inside the Gaga Ball structure, it's sand. So there is no added maintenance. I would say there is no added maintenance. And Gemma, to answer your questions earlier, we can buy a couple of balls. The balls are cheap, $6. We can put a couple of balls in there after we build it. But the kids, once they start playing it, they will have their own ball. So they'll find out that, you know what, I'll have my own ball. When I'm done playing, I'll, take it home with me.
Understood. I understand that they're just soft, kind of squishy balls, much softer than something like.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. May I go back to a question?
Yeah. Go ahead, Tucker.
Thank you, Liz. Is there any drainage problems with this? Is the side of a hill.
Yeah, no, there is no drainage problems over there that we're aware of. None has been reported. Okay. And personally, I've been there in the winter, even in the spring. I haven't seen any wet spot whatsoever.
Okay. JP, thank you very much for your input.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Other questions?
Yes, Sean Barnes here.
Okay.
JP, I've seen the Gaga pit myself at my church. The picture looks like it's about 4 feet high. Is that right? Do you have dimensions on it? And if so, I mean, I've seen Gaga pit, I mean, about at least 2 feet high. I mean, if it comes down to it, where budget-wise, if we have to cut it down, for some reason or another. I'm just wondering if that's an option as well.
Well, I think if we drop down the walls, the game is not going to be as fun because the ball will get out if we lower the lower the walls. I don't think we're going to save much anyway by making the game annoying. So I yeah, I don't think we will save much by dropping the wall from 4 to 2 feet. If anything,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a nuisance to the kids playing the game, because
What
sometimes the ball kind of go up. So it's good for the that you have the wall to keep the ball at the level.
is there a dimension on this particular wall? I mean, uh, what is the diameter of it? I mean, it's an octagon shape, so is it
Yeah,
what?
it varies. You can go as far as 1 foot wide to 8 inches thick in diameter. I'm sorry, in thickness. So there is no set
Put that
thickness
in the
when it comes
application, though,
to
don't you?
building.
I saw dimensions on that in the application already, though, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the dimensions here.
Oh, okay. I may have missed it. So
Oh, we're talking about the overall dimension of the Gaga
pit, the
ball.
Gaga
Okay,
pit.
I thought you were talking about just the thickness of the walls.
Oh no, no,
Okay.
no. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's my questions.
Okay, okay. I've got a couple of questions. One of them is I'm really familiar with that neighborhood because have some buildings there. The parents don't let the kids play in that park because it's at such a slant, and anytime
Right.
a ball is there, it rolls out onto Franklin Street. So parents don't let their kids play in that park. They all go up to the Lake Lake Street playground, which is only a block away. There's another whole playground with the basketball courts and playscape and all that a block away, and that's where most of the kids go right now. And my concern is the slope of the park itself. Is there a chance the ball could get out of the Gaga pit? And I don't.
Anything is possible. However, I don't think the ball will get out because of the pitch. Because what we're gonna do, we will level the site, and that's why we're building the retaining wall to level the site completely. And as far as parents not letting kids play over there, I think that's what we're trying to do, guys. We're changing the cultures in neighborhoods. Neighborhoods where people used to be fearful of doing one thing here, one thing there. We're saying, hey, it's okay, you can stay here. We're providing this is for the kids. You don't have to send the kids to Lake Street to play when you can keep an eye on them right here.
Right, it's a block away. So you're going to level that whole bottom section of the park, or just the
Yes,
Gaga pit?
the bottom section will be level to put the gazebo and to put the Gaga ball pit. It will
Hey,
be
could you send us more information on that? Exactly what part of the park you're going to level, and because it's that
yeah.
whole park. So please send us, what are you going to level? You're going to go from the corner of Franklin and Boswell up to how many feet?
Well,
Completely level.
yes, I would say the Gaga ball is 26 feet wide, and the gazebo is about 22. So
Right.
I
So
would
you're
say
going to put,
that, and if you add 10 feet on each side, that's pretty much the width of the
okay.
leveling.
So you're not going to level that whole section of the park. You're just,
No, not the entire section. Just where we're gonna
yeah,
put the structures.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've got quite a bit of concern there, only because I know the parents already don't let them go out there because if the ball gets away, it goes on to Franklin Street and kids go running out into the street, and that's a pretty high traffic area. So that's definitely a concern. The other question I have is on the railing.
Yes.
You have any what's that going to look like? I know it says it's what it is, but what's it going to look like? What's
Well,
the
I think it's gonna look most likely similar to the railing that's there. However, a more modern looking version and sturdier. I believe what's there is looks like it's could be cast iron. I'm not sure what it is, um,
so
but that's
could you send us exactly what kind of railing you're going to put there?
yes, I can do that.
Yeah, yeah, I'd appreciate that because that's
Yes,
that whole section's been like that for 40 years.
yes, I know.
It's rough, but it's
It's an
you know
ISO.
right, and it'd be nice to see what's going to be put there if it's a cast iron or whatever to see what it's actually going to look like, what the height of the rail is going to be,
Yeah,
and what it's actually going to look like.
yeah. As far as height, we're trying to abide by ADA regulations. So we're gonna keep it standard. What is it? 32 to 36 inches. That's pretty much how the height.
I think you have to go to 42 if I remember right. But
Uh,
anyway, please send us the dimensions
yes,
on that. That
definitely. I will send that to you.
would be great. So, okay. Anybody else have any other questions? If not, JP, thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
I believe I'm next again.
Okay, handicap accessibility, Department of Public Works.
Yeah,
This is
can get rid of me so quickly.
no problem. Okay,
All
go
right.
right ahead.
1 second, please. Let me let me get my 23 Union slide there. Um, and then so anyway, while I'm talking, I'll look for a picture, but I don't think it's necessary. You guys are all familiar with 23 Union. 23 Union is an annex building to City Hall, and we have some great offices there, planning and zoning, and of course the awesome people at community development. They work there as well, and it's always been an issue to access to 23 Union has always been an issue. It's before COVID, the Wetland Commission, they held meetings at night. So they always wanted to provide more lights, floodlights at the in the back for people, because people access the site in the back as well. And they want to pave the access way, the walkway, and provide automatic gate to open the gate to make everything. So pretty much it's to make the site more ADA accessible. If you're in a wheelchair, it's easier for you. You can just press a button, the gate will open, and you have a nice access way to get to the door. And even the back door is in bad shape. We want to replace the back door and provide a new door and a new threshold. So it's to make the site more accessible for people in wheelchairs, and provide more lights in the back of the building. Because at nighttime, when you enter in the back of the building, it can be scary when you can't see what's around the corner. So all this we will do as part of this project.
Hi, this is Kathy. I'd like to just add into this a little bit, just for the committee's clarification on this. What happened is, at one point, the building officials said we cannot call the building handicapped accessible because it truly isn't. It doesn't meet the code for handicapped accessibility. This building was always exempt from it because of the age of the building, But if we want to hold meetings on the bottom floor, which we've been doing for years, we can no longer hold those meetings and consider them to be handicapped accessible. We can't advertise them as that. And if anybody came in that had a disability that couldn't have access, we could definitely find ourselves in hot water over that.
So Kathy, how do you get around the historic significance of the building then? And any sort of historic compliance?
For this, we'd be fine with it. I don't think we'd have any issue with it whatsoever, because we're not going to be changing much of anything. What we're going to be doing, there's already a handicapped accessible door. It's just in really poor shape. And the grade, I guess, and everything wasn't exactly right to be called handicapped accessibility. We don't have automatic door openers. We have horrible lighting, all of those things which do not make it easy for somebody who's handicapped to actually utilize the building and those spaces. So, you know, I suggested that we put in an application, that Public Works put in an application for community development block grant funds, since it is an eligible expense. It does have to get approval from SHPO.
Okay, so Kathy, that means that somebody that's handicapped, say in a wheelchair, they come up on the sidewalk, they hit a door opener button to open the gate, automatically open the gate.
Yeah.
Then they go down the side of the building, come into the back door, and there's an automatic door opener there too. That's the intention?
Correct.
Is that, yeah, okay.
Correct.
Okay. And as far as the incline, I know it's just a little bit of an incline, but not hardly much.
Right.
No problem.
Right.
Okay.
It's just to make it to actually meet access, so that we can actually truly call it, you know, handicapped accessible.
Yeah.
Because until then, really, no committees should be utilizing that room, because all committees are required to have to be accessible.
Okay. Thank you. And any other questions, committee members?
Just one confirmation. So Kathy, you said that it would require a SHPO review then, no?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, hearing none. JP, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And once again, thank you for allowing me to be part of these CDBG projects. I think as an engineer, I really appreciate being part of this project. It's instant gratification to put a smile on people's faces when you build them, versus working on a road or a roundabout or
They're not fun.
They're fun too, but in their own way. But I love these CDBG projects.
Oh yeah. So you do
So
a great
thank you,
job.
guys. Have a nice evening.
Yes, you
Thank
too.
you,
Thank you,
JP.
JP.
Bye-bye.
Okay, the next one up is Rosewood Estates, Roof and Gutters. That's number 11 in the book.
Yep, John Mainville, can you hear me?
Yeah, John.
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know if I'm on the camera, but thank you all. First of all, I'd like to thank Kathy and Tian and the advisory board for putting up with it for 4 years with the Douglas Split project. We just finished that yesterday. Yay for the whole 110 units at Rosewood Manor. So this was a very good project for our elderly and disabled, and utilities was a 30% saving overall for them. So again, thank you. Kudos. Staying with the same development, Rosewood Manor, we're looking for some help on some roof and gutter replacement. Rosewood has 14 buildings plus a laundry and community building, with 110 units of, again, of elderly and disabled tenants. The roofs are now approximately 22, going on 23 plus years old with the old 3 tab shingles, and it's kind of reaching
Shut my video off.
life expectancy. We're starting to have to make some repairs. patch and repairs on the roofs along with some gutter repairs. We're looking to do this in 2 phases. Cut down on the cost because this is a pretty big project, and not to get too many contractors involved. I believe in the fact there was a site plan on how we were going to tackle this, yellow and green. And again, we would pay for all the soft costs, any environmental test and error abatement, which I think it's minimal, and along with the rest of the construction and the cost of some supervision out there. So this is what we're looking for some help. So Jeff, I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
No, I think you covered it all, John. Thank you.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry I didn't take as long as JP. But
No, that's fine. That's no problem.
I'm sure they don't mind.
Yeah. So, okay. Any committee members have any questions?
What kind of Cdac, speak?
yeah, go
What
ahead.
kind of gutters are you going to install in the buildings?
Name of the gutters or just what are you looking for? It's going to be all the 40-inch length. I believe it's 5% thickness, and
Open cup gutters? Are they open cup gutters?
yeah, there'll be open cup, and we might even look to put a top over to take the leaks out and stuff. So
Okay. What was the last time that you replaced the gutters?
the whole job was done. Matter of fact, it was done with community development money back in 1997, 98.
And were they aluminum gutters?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
So just to add
Okay.
on to that, yeah, for Tucker's question, just a little bit, do you plan on replacing all the gutters or just repairing those that are necessary?
No, replacing all the gutters. It's not worth it to take them down and put them back up at that age. So we're going to replace some downspouts and gutters.
Okay.
At $2,200
For the first phase,
where does the money for the gutter, the stripping of the gutters at $2,200 a ton, where does that money go?
oh, it probably could go back into the project unforeseen repairs.
Okay.
You know, we can bid it either way. We can bid it with the contractor taking it, which we may get a little discount, or we can keep it. So
Okay.
depending on the
Okay.
price of the aluminum down the road, you know, everything's up right now. So
Wait,
Okay.
just one other quick comment.
sure.
I've had gutter problems on my home, and I've been here for 50 some odd years. And I finally found a gutter that has a cap foot with. Have you thought about that at all?
Could you say that again, Tucker? You were kind of breaking up.
Okay, I'll speak a little louder too. For many years, I've had a gutter problem, and gutters out there that have caps on them that
Right.
will filtrate water into the discharge system off
Right.
the. Have you considered that at all?
I believe our architect has considered it both ways. Obviously, you know, it's a money situation, but, you know, I can have a look into it again and try to compare the two, you know.
Who is your architect, may I ask?
Yeah, David Holmes, Capital Studio Architects,
And they're out of Hartford?
East Hartford, yes, yes. Yes, there's a lot of there's a lot of gutter systems out there, and
Is there anyone local that could be doing these things?
is you're talking about architects?
Yeah.
Or the work?
Of the whole process.
Yeah, we've been using Capital Studio Architects for quite a while now. We put it out to bid for procurement, and they seem to be the one that always comes in with the best prices. So,
Thank you very much.
It's something we have to procure. So,
Thank you. I'm all done.
Okay, thank you, Tucker. Any other questions?
Yeah, Sean Barnes here. The gutters that's there now, is it a piecemeal gutters that are put together, or is it seamless gutters?
no, seamless gutters, they can only go like 40 feet. Then you have to put a rubber extension in because of the movement. These buildings are about 10 units long, so they're about 40 feet now seamless with a rubber extension in there to finish it off. So that's the way we would go again because of the movement in the gutters.
Yes, yeah, that's a good idea. Is that gutter going to be open? Is it 4-inch opening or 5-inch opening? Do you know yet, or?
It'll be residential. It'll probably be a 4-inch, but not really sure until we bid it. So
Yeah, and
we don't have the plans. We don't have the plans inspected just yet. So.
Okay. Well, a couple more questions. Was this gutter job, was it bidded out? Is going to be bidded out to
It's going to be bidded with a roof project. Yes.
Oh, okay. It's going to be bidded out
All together.
So this number you came up with, it's just an estimate. How you came up with 100,000? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it's an estimate from our architect as far as each building. Each building is a little different.
Okay.
Right. So I don't know if you see the enclosure 3. I don't know if you see it. It's the cost estimate. There's a cost estimate in there where our architect put some numbers in for each building, same size buildings. So with an estimate.
And you brought up a point about additional costs, because typically when you remove gutters, you end up fascia board maybe ruined well. So it's good. Hopefully you have a buffer zone for that too.
That'll all be on us. Yes, that'll be all on us. And like Tucker said, if we have any money from the aluminum, we can always pump it into that too. So,
And I would recommend, if you're going to use a fascia board, if you can use a PVC composite material so you would not rot on you again if you do find some that gets rotted. So just to give you a heads up, so.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, hearing none. John, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
You bet.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next one up is futures. This is number 12 in the book.
Good evening, everybody. This is Damian Williams. I'm the Chief Financial Officer of Futures, on with Tracy O'Brien. She's one of our vice presidents. I'm going to be as quick as I can. I know you guys I hope you guys have had time to review the details of our project in general. So I'll just give you a quick overview of Futures. Futures moved to Norwich about 2 years ago. We previously had offices in Colchester and New London. We consolidated those offices and purchased a property in Norwich. We're an organization that supports and advocates for individuals with intellectual and physical disabilities. We've been around as an agency for about 30 years. And so that's our mission, and our focus is to support those individuals. What we're asking through this request is for a new HVAC system. Consequently, we've also put in a similar request in another one of our properties. I'm not sure if any one of you know, but the State Department of Ed has just came out with funding focusing on upgrades of a lot of things. Specifically, they're prioritizing upgrades of HVAC systems within school related environments. We also run a special education school in Hartford. So with that being said, we're also trying to adopt the same system within our adult service program, which is a program that operates at our office on Otrobando in Norwich. The plan is to have the aging HVAC system taken out, removed, new system installed, which will do a couple different things. We're hoping that it will save money that can be reinvested into the program, as well as avoid a lot of, I'm sure, what we all have come to learn, some COVID related concerns. So the new system that we hope to install is going to be outfitted with a special UV component that kills the virus. It's not meant to completely replace some of the other measures recommended by CDC and other governmental professionals. But we're hoping that it will go a long way in helping to support and keeping our folks safe. So that's it in a nutshell. I did hear in the beginning that there was some concerns and some questions about eligibility. I hope those questions for the committee were addressed sufficiently. If not, I'll do my best to kind of answer any questions.
Okay, Kathy, do you have anything on eligibility? You're muted.
I'm muted. The question on eligibility was asked, and the response was that they currently support 12 consumers with intellectual disabilities at the Norwich location. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And does any of the committee members have any questions?
What, this is Tucker Braddock speaking. What is the total population of your clientele?
We have about 100 individuals that we serve throughout our agency. Again, as I mentioned, we operate throughout the state. We have a school in Hartford, and we have adult service programs in Norwich as well as Middletown. We operate social enterprises, which are enterprises that offer training to give vocational opportunities to individuals with disabilities who wouldn't otherwise have these opportunities. So we train them in retail, we train them in culinary, and we develop micro enterprises, which is to say that we if a client has an interest or if there's a passion in something, we work with them through our micro enterprises to create that opportunity for them so they can become entrepreneurs.
Do you have continuation a little bit? Do you have a commercial kitchen?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Tucker.
Do you have a commercial kitchen?
Yes, we have a commercial kitchen. It's called the Kitchen at Futures. We operate it out of Middletown, our Middletown office. We have a full kitchen, where the clients, they do some light baking, cookies, dog treats. We just got a grant to kind of operate a hot dog cart, which is going to be something that's going to partially be supported by our kitchen. They're going to, do some popcorn and some other things that our clients can utilize and sell, off the hot dog cart so that they can, earn a living for themselves. So yes, we do have a commercial kitchen.
We also support the Hospital for Special Care in New Britain, their cafe. We service their entire cafe with our employees and our food from the kitchen. So we're always looking for new business opportunities wherever we can find them. So just wanted to add that.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, other questions? Any other committee members?
Yeah, Sean Barnes here again. So question, so this price on this HVAC system is, it's kind of high. I understand it's a special system that you want to put in, but what's the square footage on the house that's there now? It doesn't look like it's more than 2,000 square foot, right?
Yeah, Sean, I'm not, I can email you that separately. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't want to misquote the size of the building, but to answer your question, that quote came from Air Temp Mechanical. They're a company that we used in the past. You know, we're definitely not opposed to using, you know, someone locally, you know, to kind of support those in town. But this was just, you know, a couple quotes that we got just to kind of see, you know, what we were looking at in terms of cost. And I do imagine that, you know, this particular quote is probably old, and given, you know, all the focus on COVID and you know, a lot of these upgrades to HVAC systems being done, I'm sure it's probably changed at this point. But, you know, should we be funded, we would be willing to definitely look at someone local and see, you know, if they wanted to bid.
Yeah, I think you probably could get a cheaper price if you search a little further. You probably get a 30, what is it, 37,000 unit. I think you probably would have gotten a lot cheaper if you shop around some more, I'm pretty sure. In regards to the COVID, I'm not sure if that will be helpful in that regard, but you still, even with that, I think you probably even get something half the price, if I can bet you. If you, because I mean, the square footage that you have of that residence is not very large, so it should, you know.
Yeah,
But,
it's I don't mean to cut you off, Sean, but it's 2,200 square feet. I just got the information.
That's 2,200. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it occupied basement? Is it 3 floors?
No, we're just using it's 2 floors. First and second floor. The basement is empty. Hopefully they're not counting that as in that square footage. But any one of the committee members, you're welcome to kind of come by and take a look at what we have going on. You know,
Damien, could you split out for me and send it to us or to Tian? How much of the space is used for program versus office?
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you.
That quote does have prevailing wage in it as well.
Yeah, David Space.
Yes.
Yes.
So to tail on to Kathy's question, and I guess this was really going to be mine as well. Would you mind just describing just the activities in that specific building that we're talking about there in Norwich on Otrobando Avenue? What takes place there specifically? I mean, you mentioned that there are 12 people there at your Norwich location, but so help me out here, please. And also, just on a side note, I appreciate the fact that you did submit 3 different quotes for 3 different options. That was good.
So yeah, so to give you, you know, I'm not the expert, but like I said, I'm the chief financial officer, but I'll do my best. I know that a lot of our consumers are, you know, they're out in the community most of the day, but I do know that, you know, a portion of their day, whether it's at the beginning and or middle and end, that they do, utilize the building for prep time, you know, if they're filling out applications and doing pre-voc services or independent living skills and social skills and maybe some employment training. Those would be some of the activities taking place within that facility. Not entirely. You may not see, you know, all 12 people there all day because again, it is a community program. So they're out in the community, you know, doing activities, but, you know, for lunch and sometimes, you know, a lot of times, unfortunately, you know, some of the clients, you know, have behaviors as such where they just, you know, they won't be going out into the community any particular day. So they have to stay at the, stay at the facility the entire day if their behavior needs that. So yeah, it's employment, independent living skills, social skills, and some vocational training skills that would be taking place actually inside the building.
Thank you very much.
How old is a unit that's there now?
It's really old. Again, when I can get you the actual age, hopefully it's in our inspection documents from when we purchased the property. But I do know we actually have a failing oil tank. If that's any indication of how old it is, the oil tank is leaking, and you know we've had it serviced, and the recommendation from the the service technicians is that it needs to be replaced. I believe it has reached the end of its useful life.
Okay. Are you all set, Sean?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. I have one question. You're going from an oil system to a gas system. Have you worked with Norwich Public Utilities?
Yes, yes, sir, Tucker. We I believe we have filled out an application. We have and are currently exploring, getting gas into the unit. I mean, into the facility as an alternative. I know there's been some kind of hiccups just because of everything going on, but we have been in touch with the city, and I believe there's an application that we filled out.
Okay. And do you actually have gas piped into the building already, or no?
No, I don't believe so.
No. Okay, but there is a gas line there if you're already talking to NPU then. So okay.
Yeah. And I'm not sure. I'm not looking at the quotes, but I think we did address that in one of the quotes where we said we would like to transition over to gas.
Yeah, it says going from an oil fired furnace to gas, and it talks about new gas line from the meter to the furnace. It doesn't talk about actually getting gas to the building. So that's why I was wondering, plus the rebates that they have. Anytime you shift from oil to gas, there's a significant rebates from the utility company. So, okay. Any other questions? Hearing none. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Damien.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one on the list is McEwen Park. This is Norwich Recreation number 13 in the book.
Hi, everyone. This is Cheryl from Norwich Recreation and Liaison 2.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. So the first proposal here is for McKeon Park. I'm sure you guys all have the application. What we did see this past year with COVID was a large increase all the local community using the parks. They became respites for people for deal with their own grief, anxiety, for mental health and physical activity. So due to this uptick in usage, I think it's really crucial that we upgrade the parks. So this, you accepting my proposal to this level was very exciting for me because we've had so much usage on the parks this year. So this first proposal, which would be a phase 2 to the park, is first at McKeon, it's a gravel parking lot. So we'd like to pave that. Currently, the gravel goes into the drainage and it's always washing out. And when we plow in the winter, there's dead spots. So there are constantly bumps and complaints about this parking lot. So we'd love to finish and pave that. So that's first in the proposal. Second is improving the basketball court there. There's one basketball court and we would like to repair that, repaint the lines as it's a highly used court. And just to add to that, last year, the CDBG, you guys awarded me funding to redo Taft Hill. And, thank you so much for that. That's been a highly used park this last year. And we'd like to now have this facility at Ockham upgraded so that the kids can enjoy time out there too. So that's the proposal. And then also we do get a lot of families at this park and the playground does not have a covered shaded pavilion area. So we'd like to add a pavilion, which would be on a concrete slab, some picnic tables and some garbage cans to go with the pavilion. This would be right near the playground area. And just to note, we could fit a Gaga pit there if you're looking for a location for the Gaga pit comments. But I have experience with Gaga pits if anyone wants to ask me later. I used to run one my last job. And then lastly, the last few things on the proposal for McKeon, we have playground equipment. The playground there is over 23 years old, and we have not added any new additions to that. And as times change, you know, of course, new equipment comes out. There's not a swing set there, so we'd like to add a swing set. Some of those little ride-on toys. There's not a ton of space, but enough to add a few new elements. And we'd add the ADA accessibility to some of this area too, and to the swing sets. And then we'd fill in, we have engineered wood fiber there, and we need to bring, we'd have to add more of the playground surfacing for these new elements. On the next page is the natural turf improvements. That field, you know, it needs new seed and new fertilizers. So I included that. It's a highly used field, and we'd like to upgrade it to attract more tournaments. We do get people to request booking that complex, and with an upgraded soccer field, lacrosse field, we could bring in some economic revenue and economic development to Norwich also by bringing in people in for tournaments. They'll go eat at the local restaurants, maybe stay in some hotels in Norwich. So it would be nice to upgrade that field also. With that field too, it's right on the bank of the water. So the balls are rolling towards the water. So a fence is in this proposal to keep people safe. And then around the parking lot, the fence would kind of hit that back of the goal too. And then final in the proposal is the LED lights for the basketball court. The current lights are the old halide lights. So I spoke with NPU and Musco Lighting, and they gave that quote to upgrade to LED lighting, which would also save on utility bills in the long run. So that's the basis of the proposal. Leanne, do you want to add anything?
No, I am letting you handle this whole process, Cheryl.
Okay.
Total support.
Perfect.
Okay. Questions from the committee members?
Dr. Braddock has one.
Sure.
Two,
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
First question is that we are spending an enormous sum of money trying to clean up our rivers and the downstream. We're spending like $160 million changing the wastewater treatment center. And a lot of that problem is coming from the fertilizers that people are using upstream. It's not really the city's problem downstream, but people just putting, so I guess, is there any way to use other than these high nitrogen fertilizers on the grass so that we're not killing all the fish and the lobsters in the sound?
We typically use organics, Tucker, because there's a
Great.
rule, there's a school rule that on any fields, you cannot use pesticides and things like that anymore. But I look into the quote I got and see what exactly it was from the vendor.
Thank you, Cheryl. And yet my other last quick question is, the LED lights, do we pay for those lights, or is there any remuneration from the restaurant, the Arkham Pizza, to help out with that?
Not that I know of. I did call NPU to quote and work with them. They quoted me all these rates, and the bills, when we turn them on, I believe, go to the city.
Okay. Thank you, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
Okay. Other questions from committee members? I have a couple. One of them is some of these items seem to be maintenance items at the park. And I don't know, Kathy, I don't know, can you help us out a little bit on eligibility?
Yeah, let me go on a few of these things. I've marked out some things that are just not eligible. And more of that is based on the fact that when you refer to leagues and tournaments and things like that, it is no longer considered doing it for the benefit of the neighborhood. So it becomes ineligible. When you're writing up these applications, you have to be very, very cautious. And I know that this was gone over last year. We have to be very, very cautious and make sure that any of the improvements we're doing are for the benefit of that low and moderate income neighborhood. When we start talking about attracting leagues and attracting tournaments, you know, and having, you know, like league games there and stuff, those things automatically become ineligible.
Well,
So we're going to have a list of things that we will not be able to fund.
it's Kathy, currently we do not open it to outside groups. I do not have to do that if that's part of the grant.
Well, however, you know, when you talk about the turf, it's Norwich Sport Leagues, NFA, when we look at, you know, I mean, it's all over these things. It's in your letters of support. It's from your chairman. It's in the application itself.
The youth leagues are nonprofits that
doesn't matter.
Kids play in.
That doesn't matter.
These are kids from these neighborhoods.
Not always. And that's the problem. I have to look at what we get audited for from HUD. And if HUD asks the question, I can't say that. When we do a neighborhood park, it's for the use of the children of the neighborhood or the people of the neighborhood. When we start talking about, you know, Norwich Sport Leagues, NFA use of the field, WNBA stars, drawing in people from other areas, things like that. That, from a recreation point, yeah. From a CDBG point, doesn't work.
Okay, so then the only thing on this proposal that attracts outsiders and that is not used by the neighborhoods is the soccer field. The basketball court is too small to run any tournament.
No, I agree. I agree. So on this one, you're right. It would just be, it would basically be the turf.
The turf. The pavilion is totally community use.
Absolutely, 100%. The playground equipment would be okay. There's quite a few on this. The next one will have more problems with.
Yeah, and the basketball court is total, the lights.
Yep, absolutely.
Community. So, I mean, it is confusing though, because in the application, this asks if this aligns with the city's goals and objectives.
Correct.
And so it says on page 6, you know, how does this address the city's plan of conservation and development?
Right,
So,
but there are passive recreation things in there that you can address in it.
when you see the word development though, it's confusing. You think
I get it.
Development.
I get it.
Want to bring in economics. So I included those things because of this, just because of that comment, but okay, I understand now.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely is a tough balance because you got to focus on low to moderate income. That's
right.
hard. And
yeah,
even though
Kathy,
our city.
Kathy, can I just ask, it doesn't matter if the revenue that's generated goes back into the neighborhood, like if we had a tournament and then the funds were turned around to, that doesn't matter, okay.
No, I mean, when we do these things, we're saying there's an area benefit, period. And we have to show that it's the people in that community that are benefiting from it. And if, you know, somebody from HUD comes down, and you know, Leanne, you go through these monitorings all the time. Somebody from HUD comes down, looks at this application and says, oh, why are you doing that when you're talking about, you know, attracting all these other people to this place? And it's like, oh God, you know, it's just, it's a tough line.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and that.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy and Leanne. And, I've got one other question. That's toward the back of the application. It's got a list of all of the projects that you're proposing, and with the money attached to each of the projects. Where did those numbers come from? Were those estimates brought to you from where?
contractors. The asphalt was from a contractor. The pavilion, I called the playground company and got a direct quote. The playground equipment was from a playground company that I called directly. And the fence was from a fencing company, and the lights were from NPU. So yes, and then other things I will call JP from Public Works on, mostly in the next proposal.
Yeah. Okay. So you have talked to folks just to, okay. And a question for Kathy. These would still be bid out. Is that correct?
Oh, they have to be bid out. Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. So these are just rough
This is
numbers
just,
to begin with.
yeah. I mean, Cheryl did a good job of trying to call around and get realistic estimates from people of what it would cost, because it's hard to guess otherwise. So, but when it has to go out to bid.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The numbers didn't look unreasonable. I was just curious where they all came from without any supporting document. But so yeah, thank you for that answer.
Okay.
And does anybody else have any questions on this particular application for the McEwen Park? Okay, hearing none, let's go to the next one. This would be the Jenkins Park. This is number 14 in the book. And Cheryl, if you'd like, go ahead.
Okay, for Jenkins Park, we are looking to also make improvements to that neighborhood park. The current basketball court, the first and the back few pages I'm kind of referring to, it needs to be the lines repainted. There's a lot of neighborhood use of basketball there, and like that court resurfaced and repaired a bit. And then because of the high usage in the neighborhood, we'd also like to get a new basketball court there. One court, if you know the game of basketball, can only take 10 children. So if you have, and it's age group specific, if you have 5-year-olds and adults, you really need an additional court to play games. So it's so busy over there that I did speak with the community, several members, including Mr. Jenkins' son, who spoke with me extensively that they would like another basketball court there. So that's the second part of the proposal. That proposal came from pretty much the Taft-Hill CDBG grant you gave me last year. JP looked it over with me, and we used the similar funding levels. It'll be a new court, so there's additional costs that were involved though. Secondly, for that neighborhood, we are looking to add lights, LED lights to this new court. I did include a map in the packet so you can see the location. So that came from NPU to add lights for that facility. And then also there is a field and tennis courts. So that field, the members in that neighborhood often play soccer or flag football. So they do want to have a better field. It used to be a softball field, and that's no longer being used. It's overgrown and the backstop is all rusty. So we're looking to remove that backstop and convert it to a soccer/football multi-purpose field so the kids in that neighborhood can play. I do have clinics going on there this spring, flag football, free clinics for that neighborhood. So in that proposal, there's benches, bleachers, garbage cans, a welcome sign, a water fountain, some picnic tables, so that neighborhood kids can just walk there and go to that local park. And then lastly, the playground equipment is listed, and that playground is older also. So I'm just going to keep the initial playground, but add some elements to it, and then some new playground surfacing. So that's pretty much Jenkins Park. It really is a thriving park, and there's been a lot of activity there this past year.
Okay. And questions from the committee members? Any questions? Okay, and I guess, Kathy, the comments from the past application is
Right, they
relevant
go
to
to this
this.
one as well, yes.
Yeah, eligibility. And you know, it's interesting that
Yeah.
around
Well,
town, that, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, currently we make no revenue off of this park. So, you know,
Yeah.
not really the
Yeah,
goal.
that's, yeah. Yeah, you know,
Sure.
going around town, that seems to be one of the busiest parks. It seems like that park covers a larger area of city people than other parks. Other parks are dispersed closer together, but that seems to be sort of out by itself, and it always seems to be really busy over there. So
Mhm.
that's good to see.
Cheryl, I have a quick question. It's not revenue based, but is there any possibility of a food truck opportunity in any of those? If they have a standard fare food permit from the police department and Anchorage Health, is there any opportunity there for that? For a food truck?
I think so. I usually, if a group is looking to use that park, they'll ask me about the food truck, and I send them to the
Okay.
public department and the permit. They have to get a permit through the city, so it's a possibility.
And then I have a comment and deliberations of what we're going to be doing in the future. I'm just, we have to continue supporting these things for the kids. I mean, we've taken so much away from my kids already. We can't take any more from my kids. This is a very essential part of our community.
And they lost the Martin Luther King Center in this neighborhood too. So there's no indoor recreational space any longer. So the parks become even more busy and the only place.
Absolutely.
So one of
Okay.
the things I'm going to be suggesting for the next application period, Cheryl, and I just want to run it by you while we have you on the phone with everything, and Leanne. We're getting like recreation applications from Public Works. This time we actually got one from the police department. I'm going to suggest from now on that if anybody wants to apply for like a recreation project, that it gets signed off on by the recreation department head. Does that make sense?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because I really think there should be more of and we've talked about this, like a list. What are the priorities? What areas are we looking at? Otherwise, it's sort of, I don't know, it feels disjointed to me. So I'm looking for ways to improve that.
Kathy, I would agree with that. More like
Yeah.
the parks
The
and
great filter.
so the parks are under Public Works and recreation programs are under the rec department. And I think that's sometimes why it gets convoluted, but Cheryl has and will do a 20-year plan for the city as to what needs to be improved. And,
Right.
We were texting back and forth when JP was talking, about how she knew of a better place to do the Gaga thing. And I didn't have a chance to tell Cheryl, but the police department had put in an application 2 nights ago for night flight.
Yeah.
They asked for things like police uniforms. It was kind of a little bizarre, but
for uniforms for the thing and everything else. And I'm like, first of all, why is the police department putting in an application? It's so all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think that does a disservice to the recreation department.
Agreed.
And what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that while I'm all for people looking at different areas of recreation in the city, I still think that that needs to be spearheaded sort of, or at least acknowledged by, the recreation department that these are in your plan for things you want to do.
Agreed.
Okay, I just want to make, I didn't think you'd disagree, but I just want to make sure, because I'm like, we seem to be going all over the place, and I think Cheryl would like to see certain things done.
The Gaga pit is a perfect example, because Lake Street could use that.
Almost any place but Columbus Park, in my opinion. Just saying.
It's a little tight there. It would be tight all on the road. Yeah.
And gravity will get a ball going straight.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so I think we're gonna change that, you know, I think if somebody's going to apply something, they need to have like that department sign off on it.
Yeah.
And not just have the city manager sign, because it's a little too disjointed.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I know this is way out of this is a big sidebar here off of the application, but in that part of town over by Columbus Park and Lake Street Park,
Yep.
there's a plot of grass right out in front of the emergency management building on McKinley Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's just and it seems like kids, they don't go to Columbus Park, like I said, because it's such a slant, but the parents let their kids go over on that grassy area. It's right by the
And
Zion.
play there. Yeah.
And play there. Is that owned by the city, and is that considered a park? Because it seems to be it's organically grown into a park. That's where the kids go to play in that neighborhood if they don't go up to the park. So
It's also very flat.
What's that, Tucker?
It's also very flat.
Well, right. That's why I bring that up. That would be a great place.
Yeah.
And I was just
great thought. Good
that's
thought.
why I said. That's why I said this is sort of a sidebar to this whole thing, but that's a piece of property that's organically turned into a park just because of the neighborhood kids. That's where they go to play instead of Columbus Park. And I don't know if we have any.
Dr. Brett, signing out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Tucker.
I can look.
Thank you.
I can look into who owns that property, if the city owns it.
I believe it's city owned.
Okay.
Yeah, I do think it's, you know, like, and you're right, I get the differentiation between what Public Works does and what Recreation does. But honestly, if we're going to be doing something through Public Works that's park related, I do think there needs to be some coordination there because, you know, as the person who's in charge of that, you'd like to know because maybe you could use it to run a program or something. And it's kind of nice to know what your inventory is for the city. Plus, again, you have a plan.
Yeah.
You know, we should be focusing on what we can get done that's, you know, in your plan. And I'm not saying that you can't waver from the plan, but
Correct.
I just think it's, you know, kind of important that you know what's happening in the city, you know?
Okay.
All right, we'll
any
work
other-
on that next time.
Okay. Okay, if there's no other questions, Cheryl, thank you very much. And also Leanne, thank you for the presentation. Appreciate that.
Thank you. And thank you for the support in the past. I appreciate it.
You bet. No problem. Okay, the next one on the agenda is property rehab and code compliance.
So as most of the committee is aware, when I took over here, we had an actual overabundance of property rehab programmatic money to spend. We are currently down to 1 year's worth of spending. So we really need additional money because that money goes so quickly. It's been a little slow because of COVID. We have been doing roofs, we've done heating systems, but the rehab, I have to say, it's been moving pretty good. So we really kind of need this money to come around next time because other than that, we will be out of money. And that includes program income. And, you know, we just had somebody sell a house for $80,000. But, you know, that we got back in $80,000. But we are, you know, we've really done a very, very good job of spending that money down.
Okay, and I know for income producing properties, a lot of that is a low no interest loan.
Correct.
Money's still coming in for that, and that's still going right back into the program. Is that correct?
Right. We have to use that money before we draw down on our line of credit. And when I got here, that wasn't happening, and we had a significant amount of money in the line of credit. So we spent that down, and then we went back in and have spent down. We've made changes to the program, and we have money moving at a much, much faster rate now.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. And how's the interaction or the interface with that with the lead grant? I know in the past we always
It's excellent. So the city actually uses the property rehab funds as a match to the lead grant. So we have to have that money available for it. The other part of it is that if we have a property, say we have a house that the lead, we allow, I'll take a single family. Say the single family can get $12,000 or $15,000 in lead money, but we look in and say, the bids came in at $25,000. Well, we now use the $10,000 from the property rehab program, but we use it with the same guidelines as the lead program, so that becomes a deferred loan for 10 years. If you own the property for 10 years, it's forgiven instead of having to pay it back if it's for lead. If it's for rehab, you're still paying it back.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
So
that's good.
We move money a lot quicker than we probably ever did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. Does anybody else have any questions for the community development property rehab? Okay, hearing none. I guess one of the questions we did ask specifically Department of Public Works to get us some information back. I guess hopefully they'll get us back to us by, I don't know what, the middle of next week. I don't know if they'll be in contact with them or whatever.
Yeah, we'll send them a reminder, and Safe Futures a reminder also. I am concerned that it's just not much for customer use, but we'll find out.
Well, right, yeah, and on deliberation, I think we'll go quite a bit in depth on that because it is.
And well, just to let you know, I've also referred that out to my HUD rep, and I'm sure he'll probably elevate it to the desk rep, and hopefully that's in Washington, and then hopefully we'll get some kind of response back on that. It is eligible for programs, to do programmatic space and all. It's not eligible for office spaces though. So we're gonna have to look at it. And so I've referred it out to them.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to hear because that is really questionable over there. There's 12 people being served, and most of that is not actually on site.
Right.
So it's a very, very low usage of building for the actual clientele, for the end user. So.
Yeah, I took her response, the entire email, and forwarded that to my HUD rep, who I'm sure will probably forward that out again.
Yeah, okay.
So just so you know, because if I struggle with trying to fit it into a box, then I send it to them to try to get more of a wider lens view on it.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Okay, I guess we're pretty well done. Does anybody have any questions? Any committee members? And I guess not. So we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Everybody wants to stay.
Yeah, I guess. Everybody's still with us here? Okay.
I'll second the motion. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay. So all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
So, yeah. Okay. Thank you. And we are adjourned. We will see everybody. We'll be getting an email with the information. We'll see everybody on the 20th of April, 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Yep.
Take care.
Thank you.